Ladies and gentlemen, today we're diving into a moment that shook British television to its core. We're talking about the fiery debate that erupted on national TV, a debate led by none other than Piers Morgan, and joined by three well-known guests: Paul Burrell, the former butler to the late Princess Diana; Imarn Ayton, a passionate social activist and representative of the Black Lives Matter movement; and Dr. Tessa Dunlop, a respected historian and royal commentator. Stay with us till the end of the video, because today we're breaking down how a discussion about monarchy, racism, and history spiraled into one of the most heated on-air confrontations in recent memory. It all began with a new public poll that revealed a shocking truth. Almost half of the nations under King Charles's rule, the so-called realms of the monarchy, said that if given the chance, they would prefer to become republics completely free from royal rule. The result stunned everyone, especially because many Caribbean nations cited colonial history and the legacy of racial inequality as their main reasons for wanting independence. That's where the storm began. Piers Morgan opened the show with a sharp statement. "I don't understand why we should feel guilty for things we didn't do. We can acknowledge history, but apologizing or paying reparations for it today is pointless." That comment lit the first spark. Imarn Ayton immediately fired back. "It's not just history, it's a continuing reality. The British monarchy itself is a symbol of white supremacy, and every monarch has benefited from slavery and colonialism." Those words hit hard. Paul Burrell and Piers Morgan both jumped in almost simultaneously, saying, "Queen Elizabeth II took pride in uniting the Commonwealth, and you're calling that white supremacy?" But Imarn didn't back down. She replied firmly, "Yes, because the very system you call unity is built on centuries of oppression and exploitation." A tense silence filled the studio. Then, Piers Morgan leaned forward and delivered the line that set everything ablaze. "The problem is that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry made accusations of racism without presenting any evidence. And now the entire world believes the royal family is racist, when in reality, they used racism as a weapon for attention and profit." That statement was too much for Imarn Ayton to take. And from that moment, the debate took a fiery turn. From that moment on, the calm in the studio was gone. The air grew heavy, voices rose, and what began as a discussion was now turning into an all-out verbal war. Imarn Ayton, clearly frustrated, leaned forward and said, "You keep defending an institution that has built its entire power on the backs of black and brown people. How can you separate the monarchy from slavery, colonization, and the suffering of millions?" Piers Morgan, refusing to back down, replied sharply, "Because that's history, not today. We can't be held hostage by the past forever. Britain has evolved, and the royal family today represents unity, not division." At that point, Dr. Tessa Dunlop tried to calm the tension, saying, "We have to understand both sides here. Yes, Britain's past has dark chapters, but that doesn't mean the current monarchy should carry eternal guilt. However, ignoring those chapters also keeps the wounds open." But Piers interrupted, visibly irritated. "I'm tired of this narrative that paints Britain as the villain of the world. No other country gets attacked like this for its history. We've apologized. We've evolved, and what more do people want?" That's when Paul Burrell, who had been silent for a moment, added his own emotional perspective. His voice softened as he said, "I served Princess Diana for years. I saw how deeply she cared for people, regardless of race or background. To hear people now call the royal family racist, it breaks my heart. That's not the Diana I knew." But Imarn Ayton didn't let the emotion change her stance. She raised her voice and said, "Paul, with respect, your personal experience doesn't erase the centuries of pain caused by that very crown. You may have seen kindness, but millions saw only injustice." The debate reached its peak. Everyone was speaking over one another. Piers shaking his head in disbelief, Imarn demanding acknowledgement of systemic racism, and Dr. Tessa trying unsuccessfully to restore order. At one point, Piers Morgan stood up slightly, his tone sharp. "You can't keep rewriting history to fit your anger. The truth is, if people want to move forward, they need to stop living in the past." Imarn fired back instantly. "And the truth is, if people like you keep denying the past, there will never be a future worth living in." The studio fell into chaos. The host's voice tried to regain control. But the clash had already gone too far. Each word now carried fire. Each pause carried tension. And that's how a discussion about the British monarchy's relevance turned into one of the most explosive moments ever aired on live television. By the end, viewers weren't just watching a debate. They were witnessing a collision of generations, of privilege and pain, of pride and accountability. And as the show ended, one thing was crystal clear. This wasn't just about the monarchy anymore. It was about the soul of Britain itself. And the question that still hangs in the air: can a nation ever move forward if it refuses to face the truth about its past? So